Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Doing It Scared. I have to tell you, I am dragging a little bit. We had to get up early. We put our house on the market for sale. So anyway, we just had photos done. But today, I was struggling with coming up with what to do, and I decided that I was going to salvage a canvas that I made a mistake with. So I'll show you guys. I was doing some paint pouring, and unfortunately, it looked really cool, and then while this was still wet, I forgot and I laid something on top of it, so it messed up all of my pouring. So we're going to use this. We're not even really going to use this background. I'm going to do a mixed medium type of thing. I'm just making some cute little flowers because anyway, I like it. So anyway, we're going to be using a couple of different things, and I can't tell you, I haven't really pre-planned this out too much, but we're going to be using some book pages. Now this, as you can see, it says $3. This is the book, the Homer, the Odyssey. I bought this book specifically so I could rip pages out and use them for artwork, okay? Also, some other things we may use, okay? I've got this new cool stencil so I can add some cool patterns. I've cut a few pieces of twine. I might experiment with using twine to make some interesting marks. I do have a little bubble wrap. I have a pill bottle because I use the bottom and the top to make circles. I have some gold leaf in here, and I have a small doily. So I don't know what I will use, but we will take it as we go, okay? So as far as brushes, so there's, I'm gonna be using paint and some Mod Podge. So this is my big thing of Mod Podge. It's just a finisher, water-based glue sealer. It's going to help adhere things. So I will go through the paints I put aside real quick, but there's nothing special here, just some red. I've got some coral. I'm not even telling you the colors because you can use whatever. This is a pink, light pink, and then I have a dark pink. That's what I should do, the bottom, right? Dark pink. And I have some pale yellow. And black, that one doesn't look black and white, of course, always. And then I also have the citrus green, and then I pulled a light green, a medium green, and a bright green. So we'll see what I'm going to use as we go. Like, again, I haven't pre-planned any of this, so that's why it's Doing It Scared, right? So you guys, when you see me mess up, you'll know. Or see me get nervous, whatever the case may be. So let's go ahead and turn around the camera and go ahead and get started. Okay. Did I do that right? No, I don't think I did. No, this way. There we go. Turn the camera the wrong way, and then it doesn't work. So, let's see. All right, well, there's the spot. You can see the canvas. Let's see if I can. See if that will work. I'm trying to get a little bit bigger. That helps a little bit, but anyway, okay. So we're gonna start with a page of the book, and again, I'm not super particular. I'm not reading anything. If you're interested in the words having meaning, you could also pick out a spot of a book that means something to you. I see this is thus he said I promised him. I don't know what any of that's about, but that is part of it. I'm going to plan. So this is going to be my center. And then these outside here are going to be painted and finished. So none of this original color will probably show at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the Mod Podge to get this on here. To get it to adhere, I'm going to do a coat underneath and then a coat on top. You're going to see I'm not going to do a whole lot around the edges because I'm going to rely on paint for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my Mod Podge. That's what it looks like. Just a bunch of little glue. I am not going to pour any of this out. I have this nice big brush that I'm going to use. So I loaded it up with some glue. I'm just going to spread the back side of this. No rhyme or reason. And then I'm going to put down my paper. So this is going to help it to stick. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do a coat on top because this is a water base and it will dry pretty quickly, but not super quickly. But I really want to make sure I have all these edges finished. So I'm just going to continue and I'm going to go right over the top. This is going to help. You can see the paper will start to wrinkle because of the moisture, and I'm okay with that. If I wanted it super, super flat, I would not be using a wet glue. I would probably be using like a spray glue or something, because you can see the wrinkles coming in. And again, like I said, I don't care. I want that texture. I'm not worried about what the words say or being able to read it. I just want the print there. Okay. So again, if I was worried about these wrinkles, I would redo it, but I kind of like it. So we're going to leave them there. By the time we get done, there will be several layers. And that might mean layers of glue as well. I need to grab the rag. I forgot. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is where we've got the center part going. And now I'm going to go ahead. I'm not necessarily done with this brush, but I'm going to put the lid on the glue. Okay. And even though the glue is wet, I am going to start by pressing in my flowers. So to do that, I'm going to use my large brush, and I'm going to use a little bit of red paint. All I'm doing is getting my circles set where I want them, okay? So this is not going to take a lot. It's not a lot of pre-planning, right? So I'm going to just take, so I've got the top circle here. I've got my brush. I'm just tapping. I mean, I could dip it right in there too if I wanted to. But again, I am tapping. I'm going to go ahead and you can see where it's setting that. I'm going to do one more right here. And then I want a big one because we don't want them all to be the same size. A big one. All right. So that's going to stay. I'm going to start to let that dry. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so that's where our 3 flowers are going to be positioned. Let's see. I want to do the outside edge. What kind of colors do I want to do? I'm going to try to figure that out. I'm not really going for a, what do you call it? Like a holiday theme on this. This is just for fun, and this is just for me. Okay, let's see. I want to do, I'm usually a fan of the darker blue. So I think I've got this deep midnight blue. I'm kind of getting a vision coming together. I kind of want to do background and then have the flowers right here be my focus. So I'm going to just take, got a little bit of my midnight blue. I'm going to start on the outside edge, and I can mix it right into that glue if I want, which, yeah, I will probably pick up some of it. Won't have a choice, but it's there. And then later I would do the outside edge as well. Now, if I was really picky, I would have a blow dryer. I'd be here drying this, but I don't mind. Like I said, I kind of want to see how it comes out working with the painting with that wet. Haven't done it before. Okay, so I do see some of these colors coming up on the outside, and I kind of do like that. So again, I'm not being super particular, especially around the writing or framing the paper. A little bit more. Now, I've done mixed media before, and sometimes I really like how it comes out, and then other times I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. I think you guys have seen me do that before. So we'll see how this one turns out. So you can see some of the texture of the paint that was left behind. So I do like that. It's going to work well for me. Now I want to start with doing some texture or some other type of effects here. So I have to decide what my other color will be. Let's do some purple. So this is the purple I picked up. Still using my big brush. And I'm going to start looking at texture. So one of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to use this twine. So I'm going to put this on here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be dragging this twine through my purple paint. Just wanted to show you that. I'm going to smush it. Oops. Even my fingers are leaving some cool reverse space. I'm going to smush it, and then I'm going to just pick it up. Okay. Another thing I can do is I can fully, let me get this in here. So what I'm doing is I'm completely covering this string or twine with the purple. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm getting it completely covered with purple. And I'm gonna do something a little bit different. So I have this straight. I'm gonna put this down here. I'm going to let it fall. I'm gonna press slightly. Okay, and then I'm going to drag across. So, just another type of way to do a texture. Now, if this had wet paint underneath there, that would have mixed together. So let's take some more purple. I'm gonna just kind of dot some of this purple around, and so I'm doing it, as you can tell, in the four corners, just mixing some of that in. Again, I don't really know where this is gonna end up. I do know I want some black paint. And I'm gonna do a little bit of texture with the stencil. So I've got this stencil here, and I'm gonna pick up some of this texture around the outside edge. again, I'm not gonna be super, super worried about it being perfect. So I'm wiping off my brush, and now it has some purple still in there, but now I'm picking up the black paint. And if I wanted this to be super precise, I could use my spray adhesive and tack it down, but I'm just gonna do a little of this. And see how that adds in there? Giving it a little bit of texture. You're not seeing the triangles as much as you would think. But again, I am more concerned with just creating some variety at this point in time. That's kind of cool. And let's do some up here. So we got some of that going on. I'm trying to keep stuff from messing everything up. Okay, so some bubble wrap. Let's do bubble wrap in, I do some more purple. This is Tiny Dot bubble wrap, and it's mixing with some purple and some black. Very subtle like this. So I'm picking up black and purple. I'm gonna put even a little dark blue in there. And so far so good, but you know me, it's like trying to figure out when to stop is the hardest part. Okay. So I got some texture going on. This is starting to dry. I think I'm going to be done with this large brush. So I'm wiping it off, putting it in the thing. I'm going to pull up my medium brush. So I'm going to start working on my flowers. Okay. So there are going to be some stems here too. We'll put some greens and stuff in there. But today I'm just going to be doing circles with these flowers, and I'm going to be basically, I'll just show you. So I'm getting a bunch of different colors on my palette. I'm putting the coral on, I'm putting the light pink, I'm putting the medium pink. I don't even care if they start to touch on my palette. I've got some purple in there. And for a little bit of extra variety, I'm going to put a little bit of the pale yellow. Okay. So this is what I have on my palette so far, okay? So I'm going to focus right now on those circles I made. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my round brush, and I'm going to go over the circles. And notice I'm going over the top of this bright purple thing. That's okay. If I want some to go over the top, I can do that in a little bit. So I'm going to be doing, like I said, these are just going to be very simple round flowers. It's a technique that, or not necessarily a technique, it's just a style that I like that's super clean. And if you'll notice, again, we can see the words, and I like that. So chances are there might be some that I do that I'll maybe put one or more coat if I want the words to go away, but I kind of like the way they shine through. I'm just going to start alternating different colors on the outside and the inside of this red in different places. So these are going to be the same. I'm going to start with coral, and I'm going to start with this big flower first. You can see I'm just putting another circle in with that. On this one over here, I'm going to go on the outside. And notice that not everything's perfect. I can be wiggly. And then I'm going to move to another color with this one down here. So I'm going to go inside with the light pink here. And you'll see on some of the edges that, you know, the colors will start to blend a little bit. Let's go ahead and do some light pink on the outside of this one. And then we will do the inside here. There, okay. Now, let's do a little bit more. Let's see. I'm gonna put some coral down here. And I'm going to do a coral on the outside too. No reason not to. I am being a little careful because we have some wet black paint here. So as I go around the outside, I'm trying not to pick up the paint. If I do, it's okay. All right, let's do some of this Wild Berry, which is my medium pink. There we go. And we'll do another one on the outside here. And I'm going to do one more red down on the bottom. As you can see, the red kind of looks a little pink because it's going on top of the white paper and it's not super, what do you call it, saturated, but okay. And I was going to do like stems, like, you know, like this was in a meadow, and I've already changed my mind because I'm just going to fill it with some pretty random leaves around the outside, kind of making like a little bouquet. I am going to put a little bit more red right in here. So as things start to dry, I'm touching up, adding color where I want. And then I will be going back in various areas. So let me so I've got this light pink. I'm going to do the entire circle here just to kind of get it set. I'm okay with these colors mixing. So I'm going to fill in, this is the medium pink. I kind of like how it's bubbling. And then we'll do coral in the center of this one. Okay, so I got some of those things set. They're not done yet. I'm going to go ahead and put in my base of my foliage. So this is my medium green. Again, I've not rinsed my brush a single time. I've wiped it off on my rag, but I've not rinsed the brush. So I'm going to, again, like I said, I'm going to add some foliage. outside of the flowers. And right now, you've heard me say it before, I'm just pretty much blocking. I'm going over the edge in some of these areas. And fill these in. Wow, I might actually have this one done in an hour. We'll see. Because I'm almost at the point where, you know, the details are what I need to work on. My flowers are good, but they're not perfect. I need to add some interest. The foliage helps those colors pop. And I feel like I need to do one right here. And we will add more depth to that in a minute. Okay, so I've got some of my foliage down. I am going to, let's see. I am going to add some yellow spotty texture. I've got this doily, so we're going to see how that works. I'm going to put it just, like, I want it to just kind of come across here, and it may create a pattern, and it may not. Let's just kind of see what happens. I can't always count on them doing exactly what I want. Not bad. Not quite what I was looking for, but it does give me some of that color. You see it's picking up some of the black because it's still wet. The great thing about like these things is I just throw them away when I'm done. Let's do... And a little bit right here, and a little bit right there. Just do those few. All right, so now I'm going to work a little bit more on the center flowers. So I'm going to be using my detail brush and my medium brush. I want to go through and I want to define my flower. Okay, so I'm going to be doing some different dots and textures. You're going to see I'm going to use a dotting tool first. I didn't think I was going to, but guess what? I am. So I'm going to be using a dotting tool. I'm going to keep working with those colors. I'm not going to mix them up per se by, you know, change anything, but like, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm taking the bright pink and I'm just doing little dots in this light pink line. Okay. Now I'm going to do some light pink dots along this coral. Now, when I look at it on the screen, I really like how it's coming together. All right. And now I'm going to do some red dots on the coral. So you can see that I'm not copying what I just did with the others. I'm still doing the same dotting thing, but I'm using different colors, choosing different rings. Okay. All right, so using my detail brush, I'm going to go into the red. I am going to just kind of add some interest on this medium pink. Basically, I'm just doing a little line around the outside edge with the detail brush. The thing about this type of thing is it doesn't look like it does a lot until you kind of take a look at it from back. So you can see I'm doing little slashes on the coral, trying not to get into the dots I just did, but there. And I'm working on that one. I'm going to take my coral and I'm going to add a small ring around the outside. As most of you know, I don't have a lot of patience, which is why I don't do fine art. Okay, another red ring. I'm going to put it right in here. And I'm going to do a dark pink along the center. And I'm trying to think what else. Let's move to another one. All right, I'm going to start with dark pink around the outside of the big one. Yeah, you can continue with dots. You can do other type of lines and textures throughout that. I kind of like to just do circles and some dots. I do feel though that my dots are just kind of hanging out there on their own and they don't really have much going on. So I'm going to outline, I think, the rings that the dots are on. Okay, did that one. No. And the outside of this is going to be pink, light pink. Yeah, I know most of you would probably have a hair dryer and drying this as you go, but I just don't want to have too many moving parts. I'm putting a little more red right through here because it's on top of a darker spot. And I want to make sure that it stands out more. All right, I'm going to add some purple to these flowers. Didn't think I was going to, but I feel like I need to do something a little extra. I'm not sure I like it, the purple. I don't know, it's kind of giving me some definition that I guess I was looking for. Anyone in the Spring Hill, Florida area want to buy a house? Ours goes on the market next Wednesday. Okay. I'm gonna add some over here. You can tell this, I'm not worried about it being super precise or anything, because part of what I like about these flowers is that they just kind of happen. There's nothing, you know, like too off about it. Okay, now these centers of each of these, I'm going to do a series of yellow dots to just kind of focus that in. I'm going to use the end of the brush on my detail brush. I'm going to start by just putting one simple dot in the center, and then I'm going to just kind of randomly fill in the main circle part. I'm not necessarily doing, in a pattern. I want it to be haphazard. Some of this paint's still wet, which doesn't lend to dotting as well, but again, I'm okay with that. Okay. Okay, so I do like the way that the words are showing through, so I am going to continue to work with that. I'm going to use my light green now. I gotta shake it up, sorry guys. All right, so I got light green, just a little bit lighter than the medium green. Using my detail brush, I'm going to go in and outline the leaves right on top of the previous green. It's going to give it some variety, some depth. And this time I'm choosing to do it on top of the dark green rather than outlining the dark green. I'm actually really starting to like this. I may end up doing a series of blossoms like this. I say that, but then, you know, what do I do with it? Unless one of y'all want to buy it, which, you know, I'm not really an artist, so. I just like doing it. It helps me with my daily life. It's mental healing. Okay, I'm going to pick up some of the darker green and I'm going to just, what I'm doing here is filling in a little bit in the center. And then I'm going to take my light green and go around it. Remember, this was wet, so that's why some of this is showing through. So I am covering up some of the writing, but I'm not wanting to cover all of it. Alright, so that. Gonna do a little bit more with the green now, the light green. I just feel like if I've got all these lines and textures, I need to kind of reciprocate those in the leaves that we are seeing here. Alright, let's see what else should I be doing here. I'm going to, let's do some black outlining and then I'm going to focus on this out here. Because I do have, I think, what I really like for my flowers. Haven't decided if this needs to have some color to it. I don't think so as of yet. So I'm going to be doing a few black outlines. Those of you that have been with me know that for some reason I just like what the black does. Always have. I've run out of things to say. Just doing these details. I'm doing the outside of this one. I'm going to put this here because I keep putting my hand in that. We all know how much I love to get paint all over myself. Will take a little bit of time adding these details where I want them. Started doing the wrong ring. That's okay. See, I just like how adding that little touch of black, just, I don't know, I like it. I'm gonna do just some random, as long not covering the whole thing. So I did one solid black, and now on the inside, I'm just adding some little, I guess, dashes here and there to just ground everything. Okay, and then I've got to do this down here. Let's do it right in here. Haven't even gotten to the gold leaf yet. Okay. I am going to basically do a ring around the centers, just so that those stand out. Some more bigger. I'm going to do some black now in different areas of the leaves. Again, I don't really have a, just kind of adding where my eyeball takes me. There we go. All right, so that I might fill the whole thing with leaves, but I don't think I'm going to do that. But I am going to work with now. Look, we have 10 minutes. I'm going to start adding some gold flake around the outside. So I'm going to be using my Mod Podge brush again. So the big fat birch brush. These are really cheap. So like I got like 20 of these for like $3. And you can get them, they're chip brushes at Home Depot, probably Hobby Lobby. I bought these off Amazon. So, yeah. So they're not expensive by any means whatsoever. So I am gonna, yeah, let's see. I want to do gold leaf, but I don't want to do all the outside. So I'm going to start, let me start here. So the thing with gold leaf is it's very, very fragile and it gets everywhere. And it may or may not come up looking like these dashes that I'm putting right there. You can see where, yeah, it's not going to come out precisely by any means. So I will show you. This is very fragile. This is a sheet that fell apart and you can just pick up those pieces. Now the great thing about this is I can just put the pieces on and they're only going to stick where there's glue. And I'll show you what I do next. And so when I work with gold leaf, I work with a little bit or a little area at a time. Okay, now, oh, where did that little brush go? Here it is. So now I have this little brush, and this is just gonna help me tap, let me move this over here, my gold leaf into the glue particles. What doesn't stick when this dries, I will do the same technique and it will take away the gold that is not stuck to anything. So all right, let's do a little bit more, I think. Let's see. What's going on there? Let's do some edging. So far I'm really liking how some of this is turning out. You know, that doesn't always happen, y'all. You can see that it falls apart really easily. Just picking up pieces, letting them soak into, ooh, there I got a lot, didn't mean to. You can see now how this gets everywhere. And let's do some here. More. Just using my finger to kind of push it in there. So if you wanted to cover the whole thing in gold, you absolutely could. These come in sheets and then you pull off one sheet at a time, and then like you can see, it's so very fragile that it will fall apart pretty quickly. But the fun thing about it is that it really doesn't need a lot for sticking. I've used Mod Podge, but I can just as easily use my paint. Okay, so I am going to add a few more. Just little dots here and there. I do want to put some towards the flowers. And again, when you see this all done, it's not going to look splotchy like this because it's only sticks to where I have done glue or there's wet paint. So I kind of need, this is the part I do need to dry to see if I need to add anything else. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take this little brush again and I'm going to start tapping. Where this is popping up, you can see that means that there is no glue there. There's nothing for it to stick to. And I am trying to be careful not to get glue on this. Just trying to make sure the base is stuck in something. Three minutes left. So I'm going to continue with this, and I will, of course, post the finished product. I'll probably be working for another 30 minutes or so. So let me go ahead and say hello again. All right, so I'm going to continue working on this. I will, of course, put the finished product in the discussion, and then this video will be available for 30 days on Facebook Live, and it will also be uploaded into my YouTube channel where you can find it all the time. So I hope y'all have a great day. I'm having a great day. Let's see you again next week on Doing It Scared. Bye. Have a great week.